So, the version 3.4 beta is in full swing, and if you've been keeping an eye on the leaks, chances are you've already seen some footage of Phenon. Maybe you thought, hey, he looks cool. But visuals aside, have you stopped to wonder how he actually feels to play? Not just in demo clips, but in real, sustained gameplay? That's where beta tester feedback becomes gold, and that's exactly what we're diving into today. If you want to save up to 25% on the Hyacine and Herta banners, check out lootbar.gg. Here, I can buy 3,280 Wuneric shards for $40, while it costs $50 in-game. I just enter my UID and select a server. Since every top-up goes through the in-game channel, I received double the Oniric shards for my first purchase and saved $10. Besides Honkai, you can also top up in Genshin, and LootBar has over 50,000 satisfied users. I regularly use LootBar for my giveaways, so I can personally recommend it. Use my link in the description for an additional 10% discount. Let's be clear right off the bat. Phenon's reception has been way more positive than some people were expecting. One longtime tester even said they were genuinely impressed and felt like the developers deserve praise, not for animations or flair, but for his gameplay balance. That's a big deal. In a game where new DPS units often swing between mid and power creeped, Phenon lands in a surprisingly healthy zone. He's not busted, but not underwhelming either. Statistically, he performs just slightly above the average main DPS baseline we've seen across the 3.x cycle, which puts him in a very stable spot. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Phenon's biggest strength and his biggest flaw are actually the same thing. He's entirely self-centered. His whole kit revolves around putting everything into him. That means he doesn't care for off-field DPS or hybrid setups. He doesn't need another character stealing damage uptime. What he really thrives on is a team of support units whose sole purpose is to make him shine. Think of it this way. Imagine your whole team exists just to fuel one guy's ego, and that guy is Phenon. And honestly, it works. Characters like Sunday and Robin, who are already known for their strong support value, fit naturally with him. Even Bronya, who only buffs one unit at a time, ends up syncing well with Phenon because he is that one unit. The synergy isn't about complex combos, it's about pure, focused enablement. On the flip side, some characters just won't click. For example, someone like Tribby, who brings personal damage and likes to get in on the action, feels kind of wasted in a Phenon setup. You don't need overlapping damage rolls. You need buffers, energy generators, and turn manipulators who get out of the way once their job's done. What's great, though, is that you don't need to max out the whole team to get value. Beta testers noted that as long as your support units are decently built, even at Constellation Zero and without the best gear, Phenon can carry. He's that kind of unit. You can still bring the heat with a support crew that's good enough rather than cracked. Just don't bring dead weight. Now, if you're curious about how to build Phenon himself, the answer is beautifully simple. Focus on critical rate, critical damage, and attack percentage. That's it. No elemental resistance penetration mechanics, no quirky break effects, just raw physical stats. And this is where Phenon becomes really accessible to new players too. His stat path is clean, straightforward, and scales linearly. You can feel strong with basic gear, and then just keep improving over time. He's an easy character to commit to and grow with. That being said, the testers did issue a warning. If you don't invest into Phenon properly, the game punishes you hard. Since his entire kit is built around being the last one on the field doing all the work, underdeveloped stats mean every fight turns into a slog. You'll be swinging that sword, sure, but it'll take forever to get through waves, and that just doesn't feel fun. His combat power is very gear-dependent. As for Eidolons, he's not one of those units that's unplayable at E0. You can absolutely clear content without dupes. But to unlock his real performance ceiling, testers strongly recommend going to at least Eidolon 1. That's where things start clicking, his scaling improves, and his kit feels smoother. From there, every Eidolon makes him better. Not mandatory, but very rewarding if you're a fan of the character. And I love this comparison from the review. Phenon feels like a classic isekai protagonist. Think Ain's Ual from Overlord or Sid Kaganu from The Eminence in Shadow. You've got this calm, overwhelmingly powerful guy surrounded by charismatic support characters, but at the end of the day, he is the one who crushes everything. Everyone else exists to make him look cooler. One tester even joked, "Sasuga desu Phenon-sama," and yeah, that meme energy is real. Now, let's talk about his one big drawback, his structure. Phenon takes a noticeable dip in performance when you're fighting groups of enemies. Unlike AoE DPS units or multi-target attackers, Phenon is locked into a single-target combat rhythm. And that's not just a flavor thing, it's a core design flaw. Let me paint the picture using the analogy testers used. Imagine two factories. Factory A has 3 production lines and Factory B has 1. Both are tasked with producing the same quantity of items. Factory A finishes in 2 hours. Factory B takes 6. That's Phenon. He's Factory B. When faced with 5 enemies, he goes after them one by one. You're just sitting back, sipping tea, watching him solo them, slowly. If you've got him at low stats or with minimal support, this process is painfully long. Even at full build, he can't shortcut that linear damage pattern. This becomes a serious issue in modes like Divergent Universe, Pure Fiction, or Apocalyptic Shadow, where you're expected to handle multiple enemies quickly. Even when his numbers are strong, Phenon's structural design forces him into a slower, grindier rhythm. Testers said it reminded them of the old version 3.1 days, watching the auto battle crawl through My Day. You know something's happening, but you wish it would just go faster. It's frustrating not because he's weak, but because his pacing holds him back in the wrong situations. So what's the final verdict? Even with that core limitation, testers still believe version 1 Phenon is a great investment. If you're someone who plays daily, enjoys physical DPS characters, or just wants a clean, elegant carry unit with a rewarding power fantasy, he's a fantastic pick. His playstyle is satisfying, his scaling is honest, and if you already have good supports like Sunday or Robin, it's a seamless fit. And if you're a newer player, there's value there too. You can build Phenon first and slowly collect the supports he needs over time. You'll feel the impact of each upgrade, and the simplicity of his stat scaling means he's not punishing to work on. So yeah, Phenon isn't for everyone. If you hate slow, methodical combat and only want screen-clearing splash attacks, he's probably not your guy. But if you enjoy that feeling of watching one character dominate the field like an anime MC, then you're gonna have a good time. Let me know in the comments what you think about this approach. Do you like units that are focused like this? Are you planning to pull for Phenon, or does that single-target playstyle turn you off? Drop your thoughts, team ideas, or early impressions. Save up to 25% on the Castoris banner at lootbar.gg. All you need is your UID and server. The link is in the description.